Good afternoon everyone. So students, in the previous class we discussed the current electricity in the conductors. So today's class we are going to discuss the next concept, that is the Ohm's law. Yes, see students, this Ohm's law was given by the scientist whose name is George Ohm. What is his name? George Ohm's. This is the scientist's name. This scientist given the law, that is the Ohm's law, and this law was accepted in the year 1850. Now we are using this law as a basic law or else the fundamental law in our electronics. Yes, so why we are using this law as a fundamental then? See, number of the laws are there, but we are using this one as a fundamental because see, this is a very useful and the simplest tool for analyzing our electronic circuits. That's why we are using this Ohm's law as a basic law in our electronics. Then students, I told you one word, that is the electronic circuits. Then what do you mean by the electronic circuits then? See, just I will tell you the one example. Consider here number of the buildings are there. So in which building you have to say it as a school or else the college. See, just assume 10 buildings are there. Then in which building you can call it as a college or else the school. See, if there is a presence of the necessary things, that building we can say it as a college or else the school. Correct. Just assume what are the necessary things then. Teachers are required, students, benches, board, books. These are the some necessary things. If they are present in the one building, then only we can say that building as a electronic circuit. Correct? So here also electronic circuit is formed when the conducting path that is created to the flow of the electron, then that constitute the electric current here. Right? Conducting path means what? See, path means what? The way we are using for our movement. See, here conducting path means this is the material which is conductor. Through that, who is moving now? Electrons are moving. That's why it is a conducting path where the electrons are moving in a direction. Then that constitute the electric current. You can take like this. See, just assume here one bulb is there. Just assume this is the bulb and this is the here battery antenna. And here you take just ammeter. This is positive and this is negative. And this is the battery positive, this is negative and this is battery. And here one more you consider key. See here ammeter we consider and the key we consider. Here bulb is present and the battery is present. Here these are some required materials in our electronic circuits. See, already you done some experiments in your first PUC. Correct. So there you use the number of the instruments, like a ammeter you used, then voltmeter you used, key, resistance, battery. Correct. Then you all connected these instruments with the help of the what? Wires. They are the conducting materials. Now the current is flowing from the positive direction to negative direction. So this is the path where the electrons are moving. Correct? This only constitute the electric circuit. Correct? Then students, before going to learn this Ohm's law, we have to see some definitions. Like a basic factors we have to see. What are that? See, Ohm's law is nothing but this is the relationship between the mainly the three factors, that is I, V and R. Correct? So here I, V and R. Here I is nothing but we already know, that is electric current. That is I is equal to Q by T, that we defined in the first class. That is the flow of the charges in a particular direction that constitute the electric current. Correct. So this is our electric current whose SI unit will be the ampere. Then second one will be the V. V is nothing but voltage. What it is? Voltage or else the potential difference. See, already in your 10th standard you had the one lesson, that is electricity. In that you defined the one definition there. What is that? You can say Kannada in Kannada Vibhavantara. Correct. So what we defined there? Potential difference is nothing but the work done on the unit positive charge. What it is? Work done on the unit positive charge. We can say it as a voltage. Correct. So that only I written. It is in the short form I written. This is work done and this is the Q is the charge. So work done is nothing but the energy. Just assume through the help of the battery I am applying the energy on the electron. Consider here electron is present now. Here electron is present. First it was taking the rest. But when I given the energy from this battery, it starts to move in this conducting path. So what it will do? It will change its position and it will come here. Here it will come. See, if I will take the movement from here to here, then I need some energy. So here, who is giving energy? Battery is giving energy. Correct? So I can easily change my position. So here also, electron can changes the position in between the 2 points. When the electron will changes the position, means that starts to move in a direction, then that only constitute the current. Correct? So here, the battery, through the battery we are applying the work done or else the force on the electron, and that is moving in the conducting path. Correct, students? So this is about the voltage or else the potential difference. This unit of this potential difference will be the volts. Here, this is the SI unit of the voltage. Then third one will be the resistance. What it is then? Resistance is nothing but the opposition to the flow of electrons. What it is? Opposition to the flow of electrons. Just assume, see, you want to come to college, but someone is resisting you. That is COVID-19. Correct? So that is resisting you to come to college. That's why you can't able to come here. Here also the electrons are coming from this direction, but here the resistance is present. This is making the opposition to the flow of electrons. That's why this resistance and the current means flow of the charges, they are always opposite, right? So now by understanding these definitions, we can easily say the Ohm's law. So what he said, see, Ohm's law is nothing but the Ohm's law states that the electric current I through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference V across the ends of the conductor, provided the temperature and the physical conditions remains constant. So what it is? Here electric current through a conductor, that is I, which is directly proportional to the potential difference between the 2 points of a conductor. That is, current I is directly proportional to the potential difference V. Yes, the temperature and the other physical conditions like a pressure and other physical conditions will be remains constant. Right? It is. This is our Ohm's law. Then students, see, I is proportional to V. In our physics, we know that in order to remove the proportionality, then we have to put the equality sign with the proportionality constant, right? So that's why I put the equal here, and then proportionality constant, what it is? R. That is resistance R it is. Correct? So now this is our mathematical equation of the Ohm's law. What it is? I is equal to R into V. Right? So here this current, electric current I, that directly depends upon the two things of the material. That is potential difference V of the material and the resistance R of the material. Correct, students? This is our I is equal to RV, that is Ohm's law, mathematical equation. Yes. Then students, here this constant of proportionality R is, we can call it as a resistance of the conductor. We defined already. Resistance means what? This is the opposition to the flow of the charges. Right. Then through this we can define easily the resistance. Correct? So R is equal to V by I. Just arranging that formula, we can get a formula like this. So this is the ratio of the voltage and the current. Correct? So students, we already know V is nothing but the potential difference. What is the SI unit of the potential difference? That is volts. Then current I having the SI unit ampere. So here resistance is also having the SI unit, that is the ohm. Yes, the symbol we have like this. Here it is. This is the symbol of the ohm. Yes, resistance SI unit symbol it is. Then students, the opposition offered by the conductor to the flow of the charges is called as a resistance. So here, by using this formula, we can constitute the one more definition, that is 1 ohm definition. See, just remember, in your first class we discussed the 1 ampere definition, right? So here also we are going to discuss the next definition, that is the 1 ohm definition. What it is? Just assume here, by using this formula I can write here 1 ohm. S, ohm is the SI unit of the resistance. Then what is the SI unit of the volt? 1 volt. 1 volt potential difference and 1 ampere of the current. Right? So this is our 1 ohm definition. Here we can say resistance of the conductor is said to be the 1 ohm. If 1 ampere of the current across the conductor, when the potential difference will be the 1 volt. If there is a presence of the 1 volt potential difference, then 1 volt of the current will be flows through the conductor, then it constitutes the 1 ohm of the resistance. Right students? This is our next definition. So now we are going to define some other factors. So basically we come to know that current will depends upon the two things, that is resistance and the voltage. So now we can say this resistance will also depends on the some factors. Then what are that? We are going to discuss now that one, that is resistance R will depends upon the two factors. That is, here I will write the resistance R depends upon two factors. Two factors. What are that? First one, R means resistance is directly proportional to length L of a conductor. The resistance will directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Then second one, R is inversely proportional to area of conductor A. Correct, students? So here the resistance will directly depends upon the length of the conductor and inversely depends upon the area of the cross section of a conductor. So with the help of this I can write like this. R is proportional to L by A. L is the length of the conductor, area will be the cross section of a conductor, area of cross section of a conductor. So how it is then? Just assume, take an example. Here in your home tank is present, like a syntax is present, and here tap is present, and below the tap I kept the one bucket there. So through the tank tap, from the tank to tap we connected with the help of the pipes, right? So here through the pipelines the water is coming. Just assume here tank is present, and then with the help of the pipelines here tap is present. Then here I kept my bucket like this. Just assume if the pipeline, if the from tank to tap the pipe length is more, then of course the water will take the more time to come, right? So here also just consider here one bulb and one key, then here battery you consider positive negative battery, bulb, and current is flowing. Just assume how from the tank to tap the length of the pipe is more. The length of the pipe is more, then of course the water will take the more time to come. Here similarly the electrons will, this the wire connection between the bulb and the battery will be the more. Then the flow of the electron will also take the more time, correct? So the resistance will become more. If it is taking the more time means of course the current will be the less. That's why the resistance increase, because already we know that resistance and the current will always opposite. That's why if the current is decreasing means resistance will increase. If the length of the pipe from the tank to tap will be the less, then of course the flow of the amount of water will be the easily comes. Yes, it fastly come and might fill that bucket. Here also the length of the wire will be the less, means current will comes early and this bulb will blow early. So current increase, resistance decrease, right? Here length increase, resistance will increase. If the resistance decrease, length will also decrease. Correct, students? So here this is about the length. Then what about the area then? So just assume here only you take, just from the tank to tap, this pipeline is having the more area. The area of the pipe is more. See, area of the pipe is more means of course the more amount of the water will come and easily my bucket will fill in the fraction of the seconds. Correct? So here also the area of the wire, conducting wire will be the more. Then of course the flow of the charges will also more. Current increase, resistance decrease. Opposite, current increase, resistance decrease. If the area of the pipe is less, the water will come less, then my bucket will fill in the more time, right? So what will happen? Here also the charges, if the area of this wire will be the less, then the flow of the charges will also less, current will less, resistance increase, area decreasing, resistance increasing. Correct? That's why we can say resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to the area of the cross section. So students, see, now in order to remove this proportionality constant, we can put the constant here, that is R is equal to rho into L by A. Right? See, this is the one more definition of the resistance. One more term we define. Correct? Here constant. Constant is called what it is? Resistivity. What it is? Resistivity. See, this is, we can call it as a resistivity. Here resistance and the resistivity are different. So see, this rho, we can call it as a rho. Correct? So this is the resistivity. Then students, this resistivity will be different for the different materials. It will depend upon the some physical conditions and the temperature. That's why this resistivity will be always different for the different materials. Then what is this resistivity? See, resistivity is nothing but the resistivity of a conductor is equal to the unit length and unit area of the cross section. Right here, see the resistivity. So we can write here resistivity is equal to R A divided by L. Yes, that means the resistivity of the conductor is equal to the unit length and the unit area of the cross section. Yes, this we can call it as a resistivity, and it is different for the different materials because it will depends upon the temperature and the other factors. As students, see, today we discussed the Ohm's law and resistance, then resistivity. In the next class, we can discuss the next concepts. Yes, thank you everyone.